The day I returned to my old mountain cabin, the valley was wrapped in a cool morning fog, the kind that makes everything feel quiet, untouched, and timeless. I had inherited the entire valley from my grandfather, a massive stretch of forest, riverbanks, trails, and a cluster of old cabins that most people assumed were just abandoned government property. I liked it that way. For years, I only visited on weekends. But this season, I decided to stay longer, clean the place up, and maybe even restore some of the old structures. What I didn't expect was an aggressive, self-appointed neighborhood sheriff waiting for me. The infamous HOA Karen from the newly developed community just outside my land, a woman who believed everything within eyesight belonged under her control. The trouble started within 15 minutes of my arrival. I had barely unlocked the cabin door when I heard gravel crunching behind me. I turned around to see a woman marching up the hill, clutching a clipboard and wearing the kind of sunglasses that screamed, "I ruin weekends." She didn't introduce herself. She simply pointed at my cabin and said, "You can't just break into private property. This happens to be part of our HOA's nature preserve zone." I laughed at first, thinking she was joking. She wasn't. She demanded my ID, then told me I needed to vacate immediately before legal action is taken. I calmly explained that this was my cabin, that it had been in my family for generations, and that I had every right to be here. But the moment the words left my mouth, she smirked and said, "That's what all trespassers say." Then she whipped out her phone and called the cops. I should have been angry, but honestly, I was more amused than anything. This woman had no idea she was standing on my land that extended miles in every direction. When the sheriff's truck pulled up, I recognized him immediately. Sheriff Collins had known my grandfather and had grown up fishing in the river that flowed through our valley. He stepped out, greeted me warmly, and asked why he'd been called out to the edge of my property. Before I could answer, Karen rushed forward, waving her arms, shouting, "Arrest him! He broke into this cabin and is refusing to leave." The sheriff stared at her like she had grown antlers. Slowly he asked, "Ma'am,
Do you know who this is?"
She folded her arms confidently. "A criminal." Sheriff Collins couldn't help it. He laughed. A full head-tilting belly laugh. "Ma'am," he finally said, wiping his eyes, "this entire valley belongs to him. Not just the cabin. Everything you see from here to the river, from the ridge to the forest line, this is his land." Karen's face drained of color. She sputtered, "That can't be right." "Our HOA maps show this area as shared community land." Collins shook his head. "That's because your HOA built half your new trail system on his property without verifying boundaries," Karen looked like she might faint. She whispered,